Can you hear me?
Open Collar.
Welcome to Open Collar, the only show bold enough to say Beetlejuice 3 times without flinching. I am Cory Willis. With me again is Stephen McCoy. 2 weeks in a row.
Hey.
Speak live. Hey. Although I wasn't sure, I hit go live 2 minutes ago and I wasn't doing anything. It was just spinning. So
yeah, I wasn't sure if that was on my end or your end. My computer, my laptop, my personal one anyway, is I think nearing 5 years. So every time I click a button, I kind of squint and will it not say not responding, or then you get really excited and you start to do multiple clicks if you're working on an Excel sheet or whatever, and then it just says no.
Yeah, I have the same problem, but that's with my work computer. I will be sitting there and for no reason at all, it just sounds like it just wants to blow up. The fan is just going nobody's business. That's right. The other day I hooked it into my dock to get the monitors going, and all three screens just went blue. So I would be sitting there, check my phone, put the phone down, and I would just rest it on right next to the keyboard, and then the screens would just shut off, and I would pick it up and they'd come back on. It's like some sort of interference with the phone.
Only your computer would do that too, right?
Oh, of course.
Laptops have been around for a while, where you would think that at this point in society we can buy laptops at a fairly cheap price. Maybe they are cheap to the general populace, but for me, I find that they're still expensive unless you want to go with the Chromebook. But the problem is that I am so sticky to Microsoft that I can't switch over to Chromebook. I'd love to, because it's like half the price.
Then there's me who wants to go the other way and go to Apple, but it's too expensive.
Yeah. Everything is reversed as well too, right? Anyway, so we'll see how long I get out of this one. This one, like I said, 5 years on a Black Friday. So we're coming up to the time where
5 years on a laptop is like 30 years with a car.
It's like one of those old dogs you see in a video. It's the white whiskers and it kind of does its best to wag its tail and walk along. But any day.
I can't even think of a 5-year-old laptop at this point would be. It's like what? It must be like this thick.
Yeah, it's a Lenovo, and it's a nice big screen monitor.
Lenovo's are built to last, are they not?
Yeah, right now they are. Yeah.
I was just thinking, you watch anything from early 90s or late 80s when they're will bust out their laptops. That's you got a screen that's smaller than your cell phone, and
it was 20 pounds.
Yeah. And they just set it up, and it sits on a table. It's essentially a desktop because you can't have it on your lap. And it's all gray and everything's DOS.
Everything. And it's funny because I have at least 2 or 3 laptops downstairs that crapped out, and I've kept them because there's photos on there from before I even had a cloud service that would allow me to store them somewhere. So I'm like, no, I'm going to hold on to them. And I've been saying this for 15 years. I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to get it fixed. I'm going to, extract all the photos and videos and whatnot. Still haven't done that to this day.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I went from laptop to laptop to desktop to laptop, and I had my old hard drive just moved over from various devices to the point where I had it just on an SD card of everything that important I wanted to keep.
That's smart.
So I noticed the SD card that's in my laptop was popped out, so I pushed it back in. Nothing on it.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we're talking probably 14 years I've kept everything.
No.
I went through my computer. I moved some stuff off, but there's little things like short stories or stuff that I've worked on over the years. That's all gone.
Oh, that's
all
awful.
the important things like fonts. that I had.
Yeah.
The thousands and thousands of fonts that I had from all the graphic designs and old artwork that I worked on, but not like things that I've written. That's all gone.
Somewhere in the introverse now.
I'm sure
not
I'll
even, it's gone.
sign something somewhere. I'm sure I have it somewhere else as well, because I had used also many online storage platforms. Shout out Mediafire. But I digress, as I hear a lot from people older than I at work. But we digress. So how was your week?
It was all right. It was all right. I put on a fire tonight for the first time, and I don't know if I like that or hate that.
That it's September the 7th and you have the fire going already? Or
yeah, September 7th checks out. Yeah, you are right, sir. But normally I would love to have a fire going. But then Jade took the boys for a walk half an hour or so ago, and she's like, "Can you put a fire on for when we get home?" Like,
they got the chill in them, eh?
Like we're at that time of the year, right, where it's nice to put on, but it's basically me giving up on summer. Like summer is done.
Yeah.
Essentially. Mm-hmm. Like you've now lit a fire. It's because of me now that Canada's going to go into the winter slumber because I had a fire tonight.
It's not like you'll set a fire on your back porch because you're keeping the bugs away and you're like enjoying the sunset. It's chilly. Better get the hot cocoa going in the fire and your Snuggie or whatever.
It just comes so quick.
It does.
Like it just comes so quick, and I'm just not ready for it. I really am not.
Really need to have like a visual image on here for our old man rant about the weather.
Oh my god! Yeah. And the funny thing is, for our listeners and viewers, we don't mean to do this.
We're at the age.
It just organically happens, right? And we somehow made creating a fire, putting on a fire into the weather, which I guess kind of makes sense. But
I got up the other day and the bottom of my feet hurt, and I sit for a living. Go figure. I got up, got out of bed, I took a step. I'm like, ow, my feet hurt, and I don't walk or stand much. And maybe that's why, because I don't walk or stand much.
Not good.
No, it's not.
To round out the week, nothing much happened. We watched another episode of the Book of Boba, so I think we finished the 4th episode. And this is where I think it was a flashback where he brings the crime families in to a meeting and says, you know what, like if the Pikes, if they come to you and want to, have you join them, just don't stay neutral. And then we hear the Mandalorian's music play because it's whatever that assassin's name said, that we need more muscle. So I'm thinking that Mando comes in for the final 2 episodes. I don't know. I don't even know if there's 6 episodes, to be honest.
You know, I forgot that I had this.
Oh, that's cool.
It was the same time they had all the Marvel figures that I'm still putting up. For the audio listeners, if you're watching us on youtube.com,
don't tell them
/ open color pod. It's a Kenner retro collection Mandalorian action figure.
Was that from Dollarama?
Yes, shout out Dollarama.
Really? Wow.
Yes, sir. There was a time.
Huh.
Strike when the iron's hot. And they had Boba at the time too.
Yeah, I this summer I almost jumped off the deep end and bought my first G.I. Joe figurine. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I have a Snake Eyes, I have a Storm Shadow, but I really like Beachhead for some reason. He's the one with the green balaclava.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's now available, and I almost bought it. And the thing with the Hasbro G.I. Joe figures is that, unlike Marvel, they come with a slew of accessories like guns and different fists and different heads. Like, you truly do get a good bang for your buck.
Yeah. No.
However,
Legends, it's just figure.
Well, you get hands. You might get an accessory or 2 if you're lucky. But I'm happy. I shouldn't say I'm happy. I didn't do that. I think I just caught myself, because if I were to start collecting G.I. Joe, It would just be one more thing to put on a shelf with no space.
Yeah.
And same with Star Wars too. Like I really wanted, like we watched the first 2 seasons of Mando, and I was like, oh, I got to get one of those figures. And no, Steve, absolutely not. Smack myself.
Be good.
Be good.
Keep the money where it belongs, in your pocket.
That's right. It's so hard though.
So hard. Isn't it? It is. It really is.
It really is.
It's like the 8-year-old pops into your head again, and it's like, no, adult, you go away. I am taking over here.
You know what? And my mom, raised 2 boys as a single parent and did her damn best to make sure that we had great Christmases and birthdays and toys and whatnot. But there was only so much she could do. And so I missed out on a lot of the cool figures from our youth. And so I feel at times that I'm like, okay, well, now that I am in a position where I can treat myself, I'm like, I'm going to do it. And I thought that was Jade playing a joke on me for a minute. And then I'm just going to say, you know what? This is it. I'm doing it. GameStop, I need an Edge program for that 10% discount.
Sad Hulk feels you.
Just walks to the store, opens his wallet.
That's you walking out. Just like, I shouldn't have bought this.
That's right. What am I doing? One more thing.
Kids got college.
That's right. Daddy, can we have dinner tonight? No.
New Optimus Prime's out.
You better like cardboard.
That's what we're eating.
That's what we're eating. That's
Piece of a little bit of peanut butter spread over a playing card.
Yummy. What about you? How was your week?
Same old. Work, come home, go to work, come home.
So you must be in a position
rinse, 4 times.
Like first-time schoolers, where you're kind of ramping up to getting into full swing of things, right?
Yeah, our kids started on Tuesday.
No, I'm talking about you, sir. You, sir, with the busy season coming up.
Oh, yeah. It's coming.
It's coming.
It creeps up on you. You don't realize that a sports season that ends in April and starts again in September.
Plenty of time.
No, it's blinking and it's over.
Nope.
So that's why you kind of don't like the postseason as much, because when you start your work from basically July 1 forward, and it's slow going, and then September hits and you're almost off to the races. April, you see the end coming, but then there's now at least 2 weeks more. Could be longer. Could be nothing. Could be even longer than that. Next thing you know, you're in June.
2 weeks to 2 months, right?
Yeah.
And then, we got the whole city, if you make the finals in June, 900,099 people, almost 1 million people are so excited about this final, except for Mr. One, Cory Bulis, who's like, I just want my summer vacation to start.
The other issue, too, is that for this year is that we have the World Juniors in December.
Oh, right.
And then NHL this year is doing the Four Nations Cup, so there's a break in February. So it just, again, prolongs it.
Is it 2 weeks?
It's most of February.
Oh, wow.
Almost the whole month. Yeah. There's we have a home game in the beginning and then nothing until the end.
For the World Juniors, are you working it, or do they have their own folks that come and kind of take over shop? No.
I was hoping, because that's what happened last time, not the case this time.
Oh, is that what happened last time? Yeah. I just assumed that, there might be a chance, kind of like concerts, right? Like they come and they own the building for that night.
Yeah, they'll have their own crew doing most stuff, but in terms of managing on site and stuff, it's going to be us.
I debated getting tickets just to get access to the World Juniors, and I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know. That was the one time I was actually very smart with my money, and I wasn't impulsive,
Smart man.
If they dangled like a toy in front of me, like, hey,
It came with a Marvel Legends figure.
It came with a Marvel Legends. Yep. Yeah, there's actually a Marvel Unlimited, which is the online library that you can get a subscription to, has a promo right now where if you sign up for a year, you get a limited edition Marvel Legends. You get a Scotty Young pin, and I'm a huge Scotty Young fan. You get a couple of other comics and whatnot, but it was the Scotty Young pin and the Marvel Legends exclusive figurine that I was like, maybe I might do that. I haven't done it yet. I haven't pulled the trigger, but
I wonder if you're also like me, that you'll see something and you're thinking about it, and then when you come to pull the trigger on it, it's over.
You know what? I feel like this might be it too. They might just offer it until it's... But this is good, though. This is me saying I'm going to just sit on it, sleep on it, wait a few days, however you want to say it. And maybe I'll miss my boat. And maybe it was like, that's a good thing.
It was never meant to be.
Like, fuck me if I win the lottery. It's over. I mean,
game over, man.
I'm getting every figure, every comic book. It's going to be, walking in just to the comic book shop, making it rain. Anyway.
Oh yeah, they closed, one of the locations.
Yeah, they did.
The comic shop here in Ottawa.
Yeah, the one downtown on Bank Street in Ottawa here has been up and running for 30 years almost. I'd been an employee there. I'd shopped there for 20 plus years. Closed, and they got hit pretty hard. Like, they got hit with the pandemic, and then there was the trucker situation downtown, and then they had a flooding and a fire at their location that they had to move. So they never really had a chance to recover. Like, the last 4 or 5 years, they never could get out from under the shitstorm that was going on.
Yeah.
And I had just to close it. So now I'm going to the one that's on the west end of town. So a good 25-minute drive, but I'm only going once a month. It's not worth it to go weekly.
They ship? You order and ship?
They do. When I was living in Calgary, the Bank Street location would ship my books to Calgary for me, and I would do it once a month or so. But it's nice. Sometimes I don't really, I miss books that I want to get, so it's good to just go and see it. And it's a larger store, and it's the primary location when there was two. So they tend to get more stock and better and whatnot. So, but yeah, it was a shitty deal for a place that had gone monthly for plus 20 plus years. So honestly, Saturday session with Steve. Jesus,
you poor.
I know.
Poor man.
Honestly, what's going on?
Not spending your money. Now you gotta travel an extra 15?
Yeah. The gas, Cory. And it's the West End. I'm an East Ender. It's a whole thing, right?
Fair enough. All right, let's talk about things. What is your favorite thing and my favorite thing?
I have a lot of favorite things.
If you're going to say unnecessary remakes, I would agree. So it's it's been mentioned that the classic, and it's not like we're not talking box office darling or critically acclaimed, but the cult classic.
It's a cult classic.
Yeah, The Burbs, starring Tom Hanks, Carrie Fisher, and a good friend of the show, Corey Feldman, is apparently getting remade as a Peacock series starring Keke Palmer.
Keke Palmer. Who's Keke Palmer?
She's like an actress. She was probably in things you've not seen. Like, you didn't see Nope by Jordan Peele.
Oh yes, I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay, so I didn't have to go far into the resume. But yeah, so she's apparently going to be lead. Seth MacFarlane's producing alongside Brian Grazer. Yeah, I don't know. Like, here's the premise. It's set in present day suburbia. The Burbs follows a young couple with Palmer playing the wife, returning to her husband's childhood home. Their world is upended when new neighbors move in next door, bringing old secrets of the cul-de-sac to light, and new deadly threats shatter the illusion of the quiet little neighborhood.
Does it need to be a TV series, though? I feel like the runway would eventually end with a show like this. Like you only have
unless
to
you're going to do a
down,
huge conspiracy theory thing, like that makes it bigger than the neighborhood, that you can drag it out multiple.
But then you're
seasons.
going away from the title of the show. It's kind of like Prison
I know,
Break, right? Season 3, they're like out of prison. It's like now they got to break into
once
prison.
You've broken out, then they got to.
It's like it's a finite series that you can have in front of you. Is Peacock? I've never watched anything on Peacock. Like it's like any other streaming service where it can be R-rated and
your episodes can be 30 minutes to 40 minutes to an hour.
I just don't know.
Yeah, again, like it's not like one of those. Again, it's not remaking Back to the Future, but it's one of those things where I think you could do this as something else, but I don't think it's big enough to. It warrants using the name The Burbs. Like, it's not an IP that you need to say, "Hey, we're doing another one," or we're making this one because you guys need another version of it.
Well, enough people know about The Burbs outside of.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't
there's not enough meat on that bone to make it, I think, really necessarily worthwhile for folks to say, "Hey, I remember The Burbs. This could be good." Because The Burbs ain't good. It's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we, this is yet another example of the glaring display of unoriginal content being shoved down our throats. Remake after remake after reboot after reboot.
Well, I think too is it also unoriginal ideas, or we just, since there's so much content avenues, we have to just put something out there. And why not just take something that's been dormant since like 87 or whenever, 88, whenever it came out.
Yeah, and Tom Hanks is now a big executive producer, Band of Brothers, and he's done like the 2000s, 90s, 80s, like that docuseries. I bet you he's not the executive producer on this, though.
Not according to the Deadline.com article that I'm looking at. No, he's just involved in the article sense that his name is being dropped because it's a property.
So when is this inevitable piece of shit one season show going to launch? Sorry, but I mean, let's call a spade, all right?
Production starting, I guess, relatively soon. We're at that, so probably starts 2025, 2026, we'll say.
Just in time for Peacock to say this is our last year of streaming before we dismantle the platform.
I don't know, like they're going to have NFL exclusive on there, so.
Oh, are they? Okay.
This is not related to any of the topics I have, but I will bring this up because I did fall down a rabbit hole. Mark Cuban had a post that said within, I think, the next 10 years, the NFL won't be bankrupt, but I think he said bankrupt, but I don't think that's really necessarily what he was trying to get at. Due to greed.
Bold statement.
And someone was talking about, they're basically going to fuck over their fans because, as people were pointing out in the comments, because the original post was like, this is like, who thinks this is going to happen? They're like, it's going to cost the average consumer, at least in the States, about $800 a year just to watch the NFL, to watch every single game, including playoffs, because they got to sign up for, Red Zone. They got to sign up for Amazon Prime, Peacock. I think Paramount Plus is going to have some games now too. Basically, every streaming service is going to have
even their own regular cable too, which probably is
exactly
compared to everything else, but it's still there.
So it's like around average, about $800 just to watch a season of football. And I think it goes up if you're going to start playing for exclusive rights to watch some playoff games too.
Yeah, that's
you're handcuffed for their own. Like we're seeing it now with the MLB, right? They have games on Apple TV. I'm sitting there watching my Apple TV streaming free Pluto TV, and I get a thing in the corner that says the Blue Jays game is about to start.
I will say though, it is the best baseball production on TV right now. is Apple's.
Is it Apple?
It's so good. Maybe it's just me as a purist, but it doesn't go to commercial breaks. And when it would normally go to a commercial break, it just has the camera on the field, and all you do is you hear the crowd of that stadium, and then whatever contests are, might be happening in between the innings.
The dude shut up for a minute to let you listen to what's going on.
Like, and it's just, it really makes you feel like you're at the game. And then the production itself, it's very clean and crisp, probability and hits. That's me personally. I just think it's one of it's still, to your point though, it's definitely going down. It's going down a path where it's going to be really hard for the average, viewer to just watch the sport without having to fork out hundreds of dollars. Like $800 is American is ridiculous for a team that plays at most 20 games, maybe 19 or 20 if you include playoffs. And that package probably doesn't even include playoffs.
No.
Jesus.
It's like anything. Sorry, I've actually found the quote, and it was 10 years ago he made that comment, and someone was like, hey, look, they haven't yet. And then some people are saying, look what we're spending. So I had the reverse effect.
Right.
So yeah, they're being greedy by soaking people for everything.
I love how internet trolls go to Mark Cuban and say, see, you were totally wrong. You're still a billionaire, but you're totally wrong.
It's like, this is why he's wrong. Because they are still greedy. They just didn't go bankrupt. Speaking of greedy and unnecessary, where it looks like we're getting an Ocean's 14.
Okay.
Despite the last Ocean series or Ocean's installment spinoff, whatever, saying that Danny Ocean was dead, but
did you say Ocean's 16? Or 14? 14. Okay.
1-4. So there's this movie Conclave. The director Edward Berger is courting Brad Pitt and George Clooney to come back for another. I guess he has an idea, and he's working diligently with Warner Brothers and Steven Soderbergh and these guys to come back and play some more hijinks in the casino robbing game.
And the synopsis will be coming out of retirement for one last job. One of them has a kid, or and their kid got into it and he got in trouble with the wrong group of folks, and now it's Danny Ocean's responsibility to get his son or nephew or whatever out of trouble by
that's almost the premise for Gone in 60 Seconds.
Well, I mean, my God, if only you didn't lose that hard drive, you'd have all this original content that Hollywood could use, Cory.
Well, I don't know how original even that was. It was probably just my take on someone else's shit.
I just it's a lot to see all of these movies. Just we're gonna. I mean, Ocean 16 will probably be inevitable, even though it's 14.
I'm thinking you're right.
This is going to be the new trilogy, and that's going to be the.
Well, the thing I was thinking here too was, you make the argument we need something original, but then you have the third Deadpool make $1 billion. We need something original, but then you have the second Inside Out making $1 billion. We need something original, then we have
those are different.
We have another Disney movie like The Lion King making $1 billion, or you have a second Avatar making $2 billion.
Yeah, so I wouldn't put Deadpool and I wouldn't put Inside Out in that category because they're still relatively new. Well, Deadpool is definitely a new.
We had a fourth Bad Boys this year, and it still made $400 million.
But this is also where we were in a time and period where, because of the writer's strike, we didn't have a lot of content coming out, and a lot of projects were put on hold, and others weren't able to wrap up in post-production, and so I feel like that had a factor. What was it? I remember last year with Vishal on the show, we talked, and there was something like 26 sequels.
Yep.
Might have been even more that were coming out in 2024.
That's right.
But I mean, like the Deadpool trilogy.
Well, here. Just to your point. Here I have current box office of 2024.
Okay.
As it stands right now. And I will go 15 up, because I'm just reading a list. It's not gonna. Alien Romulus.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so that is a franchise.
Yep.
Sequel. Original Bob Marley, One Love was 14th. If original. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, so that's the 4th movie there. It Ends With Us, original book adaptation. Quiet Place, that's the 3rd movie. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, that's like the 800th movie. Bad Boys 4, Kung Fu Panda 4, Godzilla and Kong, that's the 4th or 5th movie in that franchise. Twisters, Dune Part 2, Despicable Me 4, Deadpool Wolverine, Inside Out 2.
Only 3 movies were original in those.
Out of 15.
No.
Now, if you even want to go a little bit further down, we have not sequels, but The Fall Guy, remake of a TV series. Garfield, another adaptation. Wonka, prequel to an existing property. Longlegs, that's an original horror movie. Migration, anime, that's another one. Mean Girls, musical version of a movie that was already released, also based on a play. Civil War, original. Another Mad Max.
Oh, I want to see Civil War. Sorry, go ahead.
I've seen it. I'm just cutting off there because we get. I'm not going to go list everything now.
Have you seen Longlegs?
I have not. I've heard good things though.
Okay, so you know me, I'm never going to see it, but apparently Nick Cage is so frightening in this.
Yeah.
What is? Do you know what the premise is? Like, is it like is it like, is he a ghost? Is he a spirit? Or is it just a dude?
So the synopsis is for Longlegs. FBI agent Lee Harker, great budget movie name.
Yeah,
is assigned to an unsolved serial killer case that takes an unexpected turn, revealing evidence of the occult. Harker discovers a personal connection to the killer and must stop him before he strikes again.
It's her father, or his father. Maybe. Do you plan on seeing that movie?
I sure do. I keep forgetting that I have it, and I haven't watched it yet.
I don't know how.
So next time, that's my homework for this week.
Yeah, I'd like to watch Civil War. Actually,
I've also seen Civil War.
Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down. Don't say anything else, but thumbs up, thumbs down, neutral. Okay. Oh, all right. Audio listeners, it's thumbs up.
Sorry, audio listeners. We love you.
Shouldn't have said anything. Okay, got email us like, whoa, what was it? What did Cory? What was the verdict?
See, I'm so torn because like forever, like Apple Podcasts was a place to get your podcasts. Like it's most people have Apple iPhones. Podcast is a default app on there, but the market is slowly going down, and like we're not owned, but our platform is done through Spotify. So I feel like I should be hyping them more. But either way,
yeah, it's fair.
Apple Podcasts,
whichever aggregator you decide to use, good listener.
Hey, you also listen to us on YouTube Music now. Now
That's
that
right.
Google Podcast is gone. Or you can just
I didn't know that. I'm just Apple Podcast.
I'm not gonna shit on Google, but if you have an app on Google, odds are it's gonna go away some point and get absorbed into something else.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, we started this on Google Hangouts, and it's gone now. We're on StreamYard, going through YouTube.
It's the evolution, my friend. The evolution.
And last little bit of news. Again,
which sequel or reboot are you going to bring?
The Wolfman.
Okay.
I haven't.
Wolfman has balls.
I haven't seen the remake of Invisible Man, but it's going to be the same director. I think it's shit. I can't remember his name now. Was creator of Saw. It's Lee something, but I have the teaser because it looks pretty good.
Okay, I like teasers, horror teasers.
I know you do. So I'm sure. Look, there's an ant.
Uh-oh. Jesus, what's gonna happen?
Damn nature. It's Lee Winnell. It was Adam in the Saw movies.
What was that thing, Blake?
It sounded like an animal. But I swear to God, it was standing on 2 feet.
Daddy?
Are we gonna die?
No. It's my job to protect you.
What's wrong with Daddy?
He got sick.
Please, Dad, you're scaring me! Blake, stop!
That's fucking cool.
Daddy, is that you?
If all horror movies could be like this, I'd watch every single one. I found the Wolfman the lines a bit distracting, and I was focusing more on that than I was the trailer.
It's like, is there a pixel problem here on the screen?
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, the film reel started to melt. It looks cool. I mean,
yeah, you don't see anything, but I like that. Well, it's funny because I like with the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm gonna go back a screen on my slideshow here because it got very bright. Everybody wanted to do their own universe, and Universal was going to do the monster or the dark universe and bring back all their classic movie monsters, and that clearly just fucking went off the nose with the Mummy. So now we're going to get actual horror adaptations, bringing them all back. Like James Wan's going to do The Creature of the Black Lagoon. We already had Invisible Man. Now we're getting Wolfman. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
If done right.
I think if it's more like just suspenseful than it is more horror, I might be able to watch it.
Yeah, like if it's not gory stuff, right?
That's it. I mean, hey, listen, if I was able to watch Monster Squad, I should be able to watch Wolfman, right? Right?
This does remind me, though.
Is this not the same?
Or was it Fright Night?
Fright Night with Michael J.
Pluto TV has, I don't know if you watch this, the hilarious House of Frightenstein.
Like from back in the day?
Yeah.
No shit. That's on. I used to watch that all the time when I was
right. It was amazing.
All the time.
Yeah, it's on there. You can watch it for free now on Pluto TV. I wish they were a sponsor. We get some money for fucking plugging them. Yeah, man. I discovered that about a week ago. So
I'm going to show the kids that.
You learn something, but there's still.
I'm going to show the kids that.
Yeah, the production values in the toilet because they probably had like $15 to do everything. But
I feel like that was a Canadian production too.
Yeah, it was all shot like Toronto area.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's so awesome.
Although they'd spent some money to get Vincent Price.
Yeah, that was a big ticket item.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay. Well, we're doing things a little bit differently now that we've had some time off to keep the show fresh. And case in point, when you wonder why my screen went very bright for the visual viewers, we have my fucking screen went away. Let me share this again. Production value here is amazing. It's a new segment called Law and Collar. We have an intro, and then I'll explain.
In the vast world of pop culture, movies, TV shows, and characters are not always what they seem. Some are beloved, others controversial, and a few downright guilty. These are their stories.
I love it.
Okay. So, premise of Long Colors, we've talked about things before of like we've looked at movies, TVs, all that stuff. And actors, they've done shitty movies, they belong in movie jail. So we thought maybe we'd have discussions and figure out if, let's say a certain movie has a premise one way, but you could look at it a different way. Like, this guy's a true villain or something, or this guy's been doing shitty movies forever. He shouldn't be anything or in it anymore. Or like you defend an actor who's been in stuff for a long time, went away, deserves to come back. So that's kind of the premise. So for this first installment, I present to the jury the true villain of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, because I was watching it the other day, and I think this person should be brought up on charges. You're led to believe that the villains of this movie are the kids and their upbringing and how they act and stuff when they had a chance to tour the Chocolate Factory. But no, I present to you Grandpa Joe.
Guilty.
Now, here is my premise as to why he is the true villain of this movie. Point one, his neglect of responsibility. Grandpa Joe has spent years just laying in bed, contributing nothing to the household,
right?
Despite they're fucking poor. Like they all live in. There's two sets of grandparents. I'm assuming the husband passed away. Charlie's mom Beckett, she is working, washing clothes and stuff, trying to keep a roof over their heads in this dilapidated house. And this sumbitch
probably not even sleeping in a bed because she gave hers up for the.
No, and she looks terrible in this movie. She looks old, almost as old, if not older, than Grandpa Joe. But when Charlie shows up with his golden ticket, this motherfucker gets out of bed and is dancing and singing. He looks like he's had like Popeye's fucking spinach. This guy is good to go. He's manipulative. He's selfish. Like this whole time, he wants Charlie to whatever money he gets to go out and buy another chocolate bar to win that ticket. He says it's for Charlie because Charlie needs something good in his life. I disagree.
Nope.
And then when he's in the factory touring, he encourages Charlie to break the rules and steal fizzy lifting drinks, which they do. They nearly die as they're floating up to the roof where the fan is, at which they say that, all that has to be cleaned and sterilized because they touch stuff. But then even at the end, when, he's explained that Charlie broke the rules, so he gets nothing. Does he teach Charlie anything? No, he fucking loses his shit on Wonka, telling him that, he's the last kid standing. He should be getting something for this. So he's just a greedy SOB too. Like, come on.
And look at the other grandparents. For the audio listeners, the image that Cory has up on the screen is Grandpa Joe dancing around like an idiot after Charlie got a golden ticket. And here they are. Poor guy in front of him, Charlie's other grandfather's like, I've been playing footsies with this guy for how long? And he just decides to get up and do the one.
We had something special here. Laying in bed together day in and day out. But yeah, like
I guess this guy doesn't have any sores. Everybody else is sleeping. He probably gets out for a jog in the middle of the night just to stretch the old legs. Keep himself limber.
Like we know, like throughout the movie, the whole test for these kids throughout the tour is to test their character, right? To see if they're good, upstanding kids that can run the factory, like unbeknownst to them.
Are they worthy?
Yeah. It's freaking Mjölnir is over here.
I was going to say it's Mjölnir. Willy Wonka and the Mjölnir factory.
But Grandpa Joe just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. It's just revealing his greed, revealing his poor judgment, and again, it's the negative influence. But I don't know how this kid is so positive the whole time, because with these decrepit old people living in bed and mom working all these jobs, but he's a good kid, which thankfully for him, it works out because, as we know, Charlie gets to inherit the chocolate factory. But I think Grandpa Joe, 25 to life, is the true villain. It's not old Slugworth that we thought was going to be trying to steal Wonka's secret recipes for candy. It's Grandpa Joe.
Yeah. Your Honor, the counsel for Open Collar.
Defense, the prosecution restaurant.
Yes, the prosecution, Your Honor, asks for a minimum sentence of 10 years.
Yeah, and illustrates manipulation, selfishness, disregard for others and their well-being, and the hidden villain of this movie, and nearly destroyed Charlie's chances of a lifetime supply of chocolate.
What a bastard!
Just the worst.
It really is. I mean, I was going to see, like, okay, can I counter with a defense from Grandpa Joe? And I can't. I mean, you basically succinctly put every single charge in line with what it really is and how it should be reflected. He is a horrible, horrible man.
Right.
Terrible man. Now, I don't remember how the portrayal of Uncle or of Grandpa Joe was in the newer Johnny Depp, as an example. but this one stands out. Like he was villainous.
And like, if you think about it, even when like they're singing the song is "I Got a Golden Ticket," and it started by Grandpa Joe. He didn't win shit. He's already like usurped his authority over this golden ticket from Charlie. So it's like in his mind, he's the one that's going on this tour. He's the one that's gonna get all this chocolate and stuff.
Living vicariously through his
Yeah,
grandson.
his
Bastard.
poor grandson, who only opened 2 Wonka bars, and the whole damn thing, despite the kids opening, like we learned in the math class when they're learning percentages, that other kids open like 200, 300 boxes, chocolate bars. Fucking poor Charlie only got 2. And he gets this third one he opens up after he finds a shilling in the street.
Yeah, remember the teacher? Yeah, he was kind of caught off guard. Like, oh, the percent of 3 is.
he's trying to do it all like a round hundreds number. It's like, or
wait, was it
1,000?
Wasn't that teacher in God?
He looks like an old Monty Python guy.
Monty Python. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was in Monty Python.
How many order 2? I can't do 2.
2?
Yeah.
2? Sure, you've opened more than 2, Charlie.
If you go back and watch that during the Candyman song in the store, when the candy operator lifts open the counter, he smokes a kid in the face, and it's left in the movie.
Oh, for real?
Swear to God, this little girl, she just eats it in the chin with the counter.
Hey, the kids are getting chocolate.
She's
There's
like,
no chocolate.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
there's
in there.
chocolate
Go back and
flavor.
watch.
Uncle Joe, guilty.
Grandpa Joe.
Sorry.
Don't throw Uncle Joe.
Yeah,
It's
no.
different.
Grandpa
different
Joe.
thing.
Guilty. Do you have a gavel sound for?
I don't. I should.
It's
Or
all
like
right.
a jail, like
Yeah.
cell door
slam.
closing.
Give him his cup.
Yeah. Cling, cling,
Ring it.
cling,
Cling,
cling.
cling, 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 cling.
Oh man. So that's the gist of what Law and Collar is. We'll have more
Mm-hmm.
different things. Like I said, actors who shouldn't be back, actors who overstayed their welcome, actors who we miss and should definitely be allowed.
I've got a couple up here that I definitely want to prosecute.
Oh, nice.
Bring them to justice.
Justice, the hammers of justice. So yeah, we were off for 6 months. So we still have some more videos. Again, apologies for everyone who's tired of listening to trailers. After the break, we want to do commercial or do you want to do this day?
Let's do commercial.
Okay. We'll do commercial, geek news, throw in our other new segment, and then that's the show.
The new He-Man Power Sword.
Cool! It makes sounds! Skill tour!
The Power Sword makes 8 action sounds. It lights up with power. You can be a hero with the He-Man Power Sword. And you can be a hero with Flip Shot, Flog, and the mighty Bowler Jet. All toys sold separately from He-Man.
How many kids were just like aching for Flog?
He-Man, eh? He was one where they had like one massive year of importance.
Yeah.
And back in the 80s, it was very hard to stay relevant with, deregulation and all the cartoons that came out and, shelf space in the stores.
Yep.
And then I think this one came out in, I want to say the mid 90s, is to try and rejuvenate the franchise. As you can clearly see, again, for the audio listeners, it was a commercial. Did not go well for He-Man. Did not go well.
Did you watch Kevin Smith's Netflix?
No.
No.
No, I it's something that I wanted to, but
Same here.
I just never did. Never did.
Add it to
It was actually, I heard that there's, I'm going to save it for next week. I'm going to do a bit more research on it.
All right.
Just put a pin in that.
I don't. I've been tacking up my figures. All my pins are up on the wall. So apologies.
It's all right. Let it pass this time.
All right. Some geek news. Let's go. we may have our new Hal Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
The internet is a buzz with Josh Brolin, because only so many actors can play fucking characters in DC or Marvel. And so HBO Max or Max is supposed to have a Green Lantern Corps series, TV series. And this is all in the new DCU under James Gunn, and they're saying Josh Brolin.
Yeah, they offered it to Josh Brolin. It makes me wonder what the angle is going to be for this TV show. Is it going to be, set in, like, he's been established as Green Lantern for years, and they've got the new, Kyle Rayner and Jon Stewart and Guy Gardner coming in, and he's kind of like the old man of the four. And is he not a live, still active Green Lantern? Because he's gonna need to buff up a little bit. I think he's very stoic, and he's a skilled enough actor that he can pull off Hal Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
But he's older. Like, I don't know that he can do the action that you'd want. And for me, like, Hal Jordan Green Lantern is my favorite comic book character of all time. And I feel like I'm just gonna come to be yet again disappointed, where all I want is him to be the primary Green Lantern, the one that just kicks ass and takes names. And I just don't know that I'll get it with Josh Brolin.
So, like Pedro Pascal, Josh Brolin, Thanos, Cable, Hal Jordan,
Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex, that's right. I forgot, as I'm sure most people wanted to. Again, I'm not saying he's not a versatile actor, but there's other people.
Yeah.
I heard someone have this rumor posted online regarding Superman, which I guess would tie into this, is that the belief is that James Gunn is going to do things completely different with the DCU, in that when we first meet Superman, it's going to be in a world where superheroes have been around forever. Because that's one thing they've never done yet. On any, like you bring the Christopher Reeve, it's that's for something brand new. Batman's something brand new. They did all the reboots. This is all brand new. So this is going to be from like hundreds of years ago. There's always been superheroes. Like, this is nothing new to us. It's just established. Which makes sense then which makes sense that if it's going to be, if he's going to be cast as Hal Jordan, then that would make sense. He's been Green Lantern for decades, right? And now he's the elder statesman of the Corps. Mm-hmm. And he's, I kind of think of like Batman Beyond, or like the older Bruce Wayne. This is what he's going to be. Josh Brolin's going to be the one who schools and teaches, and teaches them the ways to protect Sector 2814, which is Earth, as the Green Lantern Corps. So if that's the angle that they take, I kind of appreciate what you're saying that James Gunn wants to do, where it comes in as a pre-established universe of superheroes for X amount of time. I appreciate that, because I think we are now at the point of the genre where we can get past the need for an origin story, especially for these, these Trinity-like characters, and just jump right in and just accept the fact that this is a world where they've been around for years. In the modern age, and by modern age, I mean since we've got the Marvel Cinematic Universe and then all the subsequent superhero movies, to you, which one has had the best origin story in their movie? I'll give you mine right now. The Incredible Hulk, just during the credits. Just told the story in the 2.5 minutes of opening credits, and we moved on. And because we all know the story, we just didn't need to spend an hour. Like, love Iron Man, but you didn't need to spend an hour doing that.
I keep going back to the first Tobey Spider-Man. Yeah. And I don't know if it's just because it was the first time that we had a big budget Spider-Man movie on screen.
Okay,
and I think, like, I keep going back to that. But in terms of, I mean, I can't argue with your choice of the Hulk because it was very expeditious and to the point.
Or even I would say Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Like he's just Spider-Man.
Yeah.
One little line of plug. Oh, that's Spider-Man. What happened to the spider? Yeah, he died.
No one complained about it. No one. Like, where was the origin story? Well, no, motherfucker. There's been like this is now the fifth, sixth,
we've had 3 in 12 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you don't need it. Which I think it's good. It opens up James Gunn the ability to just tell the story, spend more of the screen time on the story. And the rumor with the Superman, it's not Legacy anymore. I think it's just Superman now.
Yeah.
It goes after Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman, which is an amazing storyline. One where he is starting to get poisoned by the radioactiveness coming from the sun, and he's dying. Now, whether or not that's going to happen in the movie, I mean, if you don't really want Superman dying in the first movie of...
No, but you can, like, end, like, you're like, oh, yeah, I just have to use the head for a second, and then, like, walks out of the room, and then it's like, oh, I'm bleeding.
Yeah.
And like, credits.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, I mean...
Superman used the bathroom. Imagine. Yeah, I just gotta go.
Just pardon me for a second.
Yeah.
I will be right back. BRB. I don't even know who else I would want to be Hal Jordan. I'd want someone middle-aged. But that's the thing. Brolin isn't middle-aged. He's more on the back nine of the middle-aged, title.
There's a lot of good actors, but then once you start like throwing them out there, like, oh, John Hamm. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's up there too. Because he's got like the chiseledness of...
I think they almost just need, because it's going to be HBO Max, I think is at that point, I think just go with someone new.
Yeah.
Just go with someone new. If it was a feature film, sure. Okay. You're going to want that A, B plus, anchor for the movie. Get it. Well, I mean, as I say, that Superman wasn't, but especially for a TV show, just go with someone new. And not get bogged down on like, it's got to be this person because he's well known and he could be past his prime, but it's him, right? Like we've got it. It's X person. It's Josh Brolin. We got it. It's
Josh Brolin. Goddamn,
you got to choose him. Like, well, maybe you don't have to.
What's Pedro Pascal?
No, so I mean, I keep going back. I keep going back to the point of like everybody bitching about when Heath Ledger was cast at, as the Joker. Everybody and their mother was like, this is the worst casting ever. And it ended up being one of the best villains in not just the genre, but in cinematic history.
Yeah.
So I try and like temper myself on, when there are rumors of casting but I mean, whatever. I'm still going to do it. Like I try and temper it, but
yeah. Oh, it's funny you mentioned Heath Ledger and the Joker.
Nice segue.
Hey, you set me up. If you wouldn't have said anything, this would have been next DC property that is causing waves here is Joker 2. Did you see the last trailer for this?
I saw part of it.
Did you have interest in watching it again? Because we don't have.
I have no interest in the Joker.
All right, I'll skip ahead from showing it. Save everybody the headache. So it's coming out, as you see here, on the 4th of October. Reviews are coming out. They haven't been kind. Are you surprised?
Same director? Is it the same director?
Everything's the same. Like they just like from what I'm hearing is like because it's a musical, right? So like that's taking people out of the movie. They said it's boring. Like the first hour is just like the courtroom scenes that apparently are happening. They said Lady Gaga is wasted in this movie. It was like I saw the first one, despised the first one. I think it was it's another movie where they just slapped Joker on it just to get people to go see it and to tie it into DC. It has nothing at all remotely close to what the character is.
Yeah, that's why I can't get into it.
And like, this one just looks like they said it's the classic. Everything you hated about the first one, we're gonna dial it up even more. So this is like, you hated this. Well, you know what? I'm gonna take the same thing and just fuck with you some more by doing something crazy, like in this case, a musical, which I think is gonna hurt the box office with it because they're the toxic masculinity folks that love the first movie are gonna hate the singing and dancing. So I just thankfully they said there's probably not gonna be a third one, but I'm just $1 billion movie and they just kind of went off the cliff. It seems
it was $1 billion movie.
It was until Deadpool and Wolverine
movie?
this year.
Jesus.
Until Deadpool and Wolverine this year, this was the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time.
What? Okay.
Yeah, man.
I just don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not really. I never was in the need for an art house portrayal of the Joker. And to your point, that's not my Joker, but it isn't. And
it's not the Joker.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, fair enough. But I just no. Like, no.
It's like when Todd Phillips, the director, or I don't know if he's sole writer or maybe he's co-writer, but sole director of this, was said that in this movie, you're not going to get the clown prince of crime. I'm like, well, then you don't have Joker.
Yeah. What do we have? What do we have?
When you have, like, they gave him a name. He's Arthur Fleck. So this is an Arthur Fleck movie, a sequel. He just happens to call himself Joker, I guess. And then you slap a DC logo on it and think it's the same. Like, I know we've had different iterations of the character. Like, we all know Jack Napier. I know some people argue, but Jack Napier is not the Joker. I know they've kind of retconned that in the comics as an alias.
Yeah.
But Joker has no name. We got more, like, seriously, Cesar Romero played Joker in Batman 1966. He was Joker. He had no name. He had no origin, no backstory. He was the Joker.
And the Joker, that was the Joker for decades.
Yeah.
It was no name. That was the mystique of him.
Right. We had Alan Moore's origin story for the Joker, which again still gave no name. But everything else ties the same. Like, I know it's Axis Chemicals and Burton's Batman, but still, vat of acid turned him into the Joker. More grounded, realistic take in the Dark Knight, but again, no real identity to him. He's just a guy with makeup on. Jared Leto played the Joker. Moving on, and now you have this, which is like, this guy has a backstory. He has a name. He has a condition. He gets made fun of a lot, so he's now a bad guy. That's this Joker, and people somehow dig on this. Comic book fan, I'm just
you know it's just because people are into the art house movies, and it's like,
fair enough,
but not for me anyway. I saw like I said, so you started off the segment by asking if I'd seen the trailer, and I saw the beginning of the trailer, and it was where Gaga was talking to Joker about her first time seeing him, and even just that little commentary that she had where I think she was sitting against the window took me right out of it.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, her character also is not a doctor. She's a patient in Arkham. So Harley Quinzel is not really Harley Quinzel.
What? Okay. Yeah. No.
Somebody brought up, I was reading when some of the reviews were coming out, and someone made a comment. They said, I don't know if it was a line in the movie or in the trailer, or they saw an advanced screening or something, but they said it said something in the movie that Harley Quinn is, or maybe the director said it, Harley Quinn is the love of Joker's life. And the first comment was, no, the love of Joker's life is Batman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, that's true. Like, so people, like, if the fans get it, why don't the people doing it? Again, you don't have to do a literal adaptation. You can make your changes, but if you can't get just the simplistic things done of the character that you're trying to adapt into this, you're doing it wrong.
If you can't get the bones of it right, then everything else will.
Yeah, like Joker loves the game. He loves the cat and mouse with Batman.
Yeah, he is not the Joker
destined to do this
Batman.
Forever. Yeah, the yin and the yang.
Anyway, Mark this as one that I won't be seeing.
Same.
Oh,
That probably.
So I figured you probably would because you'd seen the first one, even though you despise it.
I just was so angry with that movie.
You're a sucker for punishment, Corey.
Well, like, people saw it was when it came out. A lot of people at work were talking about it, like, this is great, like whatever, like it's a good movie. I'm like, I don't have any interest, but I'll check it out. And I watched it, and I just like this. This is not like I've read stuff all this time. I've watched the shows. I've watched the movies. This is not at all what this character is about.
Yeah.
Yes,
shouldn't be the Joker.
He creates chaos in the movie for what he does, but his chaos that he creates is not like fandom, and that's what happens in that movie. He does something. He talks about like being made fun of, and he's not going to take it anymore, and that inspires people. The Joker's not an inspiration.
Nope. This could have been the second. This could have been a second docket for Long Call. We could have brought this movie in.
Damn it! I've already wasted it now.
Yeah, maybe we, episode 150, when people have forgotten about it, we'll bring it up.
Welcome to the defendant. Okay, moving on. No more anger with that. Let's talk about other anger. So there's a rumor going around that two long jesting projects with Marvel Studios have been quietly canceled or in the process of.
Okay.
Could you guess what has not come out yet that could possibly be going away? And not Kang Dynasty, that already has been changed. Both of these projects have been announced.
Yeah, okay.
Both of these projects have had updates in the past few years.
Okay.
Both projects have had actors interviewed and talking about it, but they could secretly be going the way of the dodo.
So one would be Blade.
Oh, wait. It's been a while. That's one.
And then the second one, I had a choice, but then you had said that they had been interviewed, and I don't think anyone's been interviewed for it, but I will still take my shot in the dark and say Wonder Man. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, Blade, which makes the joke in Deadpool and Wolverine all the more better by saying
right.
Only one. But yeah, so we've had number of starts and stops with Blade. Hasn't been canceled.
No less than 5.
Hasn't been canceled yet. But in the coming months, a final decision will be made on the status of Blade. The other, Armor Wars.
Oh, yes.
Now, Armor Wars, as we know, was first pitched as, I think we even talked about it on here, as a Disney Plus series.
Mm-hmm.
Then after like the rejigging of what they're doing Disney Plus and Marvel properties, when Bob Iger came back, it was then turned into a feature. And that was supposed to come out of Secret Invasion and tie into Ironheart. Now, I think even Don Cheadle was interviewed asking about it, and like he doesn't know. I think he said like ask Bob Iger.
Yeah, there's no point for Armor Wars. If you look at the story of Armor Wars, it's all of these villains stole the technology of Tony Stark's, and then they created their outfits, Crimson Dynamo, et cetera, et cetera. But we haven't had Iron Man in any movie in forever. Ironheart is not even an established character in the MCU. Secret Invasion was not Secret Invasion. It was everything but what Secret Invasion was. If I would be okay with them revisiting Armor Wars if it was after Secret Wars and they relaunched and recast Iron Man, and that could be your story for Iron Man. It could be Iron Man Armor Wars, or it could be a spin-off. But that ship has sailed. Iron Man has sailed in the existing MCU. No.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised.
No, Wonder Man's still supposed to come out.
I'd like to
know when.
Yeah, the Blade one too, though. It's just there have been 5 rewrites, 3 directors. The most recent director directed another R-rated movie. So I can't remember what it was, but the comparison was that this makes sense because he directed this movie which had moderate success, and now he's going to be taking on Blade. The screenwriter, pardon me, not the director. But even if you look at like the past, screenplays for Blade, one of them specifically was that he was going to be the 5th lead.
Yeah.
In the title role. Like, how does that make sense?
And that's when they were going to start shooting.
Well, yeah, because they talked about that in the article. We did a review of that article, that what happened to the MCU, that Variety article, I think it was. It just seems destined to fail, this Blade, and it's unfortunate because you'd like for the MCU to pay homage to what really truly started everything.
I wonder now. Bear with me here. I wonder if you go back to Wesley Snipes and you bring him back, Battleworld, Doomsday, whatever, get him into Secret Wars, and then you go with the reboot that you've been working on after Secret Wars when everything's being redone.
Maybe I'm putting a lot of trust in Marvel when I say this, so take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
Maybe that's what they're doing, and they're deciding, we're going to scrap it because we are going to bring back Wesley Snipes based off of the success from the fan base reaction when they saw him in Deadpool 3. Like, it was amazing to see him reprise that role.
Yeah.
That it might have been that aha moment for MCU to be like, oh, okay, well, maybe we'll, to your point, put him in Secret Wars, and then that'll be his send-off, and then the introduction of the new. So maybe that's the reason why. If that's the reason why, then it makes sense, but we're also 2-3 years out from knowing if that's the actual reason. So.
And the other thing, too, is even Mahershala is not that young either, going back to your Brolin comment. So the longer this goes, the older that he gets, and vampires are supposed to be immortal.
Yeah.
You can't wait around forever either.
He's a middle-aged immortal.
Oh.
Can there be a middle-aged immortal?
I guess.
I guess we'll find out, maybe.
We will, won't we? Agatha All Along is the next and last Marvel property coming out in 2024. And they dropped one more last trailer before it dropped.
Agatha, confession, I know an egregious amount about you. Been obsessed since I first showed up on your Salem days. That's why I saved you from the spell you were under. You're the only witch that's ever survived the Witch's Road.
Who are you?
I'm...
Interesting. We need to assemble a coven to walk the road, to get our powers back.
The road will give you the thing you want the most if you make it to the end.
Shall we? This journey. It's a death wish. Can we trust her? Agatha. The bodies are really piling up. We'll be safe as kittens. Okay?
Agatha All Along, 2-episode premiere, September 18th, only on Disney+.
So, we got that to talk about next week. I was not entirely sold on this, but I kind of will check it out.
That was the first I've seen of anything for Agatha, and I wasn't planning on watching any trailers or whatnot, but that boy looks an awful lot like Clarion the Witch Boy of DC. Looks an awful lot like him.
Yeah.
Copyright? I need to know who this kid is, though. That was
he says his name, and it's lips are sealed.
But then she was like, aha. So did they do that just for us, the viewer, or did they do that?
I think so.
Okay.
Or it's Mephisto.
No, it's not Mephisto. Imagine.
Well, that's what we all did through WandaVision. Every character was the fucking Mephisto.
So why are you looking forward to this?
I like horror. Like, this seems like it could be a fun horror time.
This is not horror.
It's fun horror.
This is Hocus
Pocus. Yeah.
that's we just said that. This is Hocus
I
Pocus.
grew up watching Hocus Pocus. I'll watch this.
Where's Bette Midler?
Maybe this will lead to Wanda coming back. Who knows?
Well,
Isn't there
apparently,
a big comic story about Witch's Road?
I don't recognize it.
With Scarlet Witch or something? Oh, someone was talking about it. I didn't go deep into it.
Agatha was big in West Coast Avengers, but I think they drew a lot of that from the WandaVision series. So I don't know if it carries over to this. Again, I haven't seen any Agatha. What is it? Agatha? What's it called?
Agatha All Along. You know, like the song from WandaVision.
Right.
It was Agatha All Along. It could be fun. It could be terrible. Who the fuck knows?
You know what? Find out more with Open Collar.
That's right. We watch it so you don't have to.
That's right. The things we do for you.
Seriously. Okay, one more bit of Marvel news, and I have one more trailer, and then we'll wrap her up. So, again, Deadpool Wolverine. We had Sabretooth. We did not get Liev Schreiber as Sabretooth. Why did that happen, you ask? Well, he was interviewed recently, and he gave his reason as to why he did not come back as Sabretooth in Deadpool and Wolverine. And he says, and I quote, "To be honest, it's a lot of work getting your body up to that point. And I know I watched you get himself ready again and again, and I thought, I'm okay to sit on the sidelines. This man deserves more roles." I agree wholeheartedly. If I'm not to fucking work it out, I am not going to be in that movie.
Yeah, but I mean, how much does he have to work out? He
doesn't have to be jacked, but I think you also need to not look like you're not working out.
But he's naturally a pretty large dude.
He's a big guy, yeah.
You know,
maybe he just, when you're like, I guess when you get, maybe it's an ego thing. He doesn't want to look roly-poly next to
Hugh Jackman, who like dives in with both feet, takes HGH and does everything else to make himself look, cut. Yeah, maybe he didn't want to stand next to him. But Sabretooth, in all of the iterations, had big jacket. Like he had some. It wasn't just
except for in X-Men Origins Wolverine, where the two of them were like just walking around in like muscle shirts the whole time.
Oh right, yeah, I forgot about that movie. Well, that was the one with Liev Schreiber, though, didn't he? Wasn't he wearing a jacket though in parts of
towards
that movie?
The end? Yeah, towards the end.
Like...
But they were in t-shirts and stuff.
Oh right, before they like after Weapon X.
Before the yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Then he became a villain.
Right.
But like,
good for him.
We wanted to see the Tyler Mane version that we got in 2000. We wanted to see the animalistic one. Guy with a buzzed head and a little couple like the picture. Like you got a little few pointed teeth. Like, that's not Sabretooth.
No, that's a clean cut. That's middle management Sabretooth.
Yeah. That's the guy telling you coming and working on Saturday.
That's right. Yeah. He comes by the cubicle and says, "Toad, you're gonna have to come in on Saturday." But you know what? I think it needed to be Tyler Mane the whole time because the Deadpool and Wolverine paid a homage to Fox and sent them off. And Tyler Mane he's the Sabretooth you need to pay respect to, not middle management.
Yes.
Sabretooth, not middle management Victor.
No.
He probably has a name tag at soirees that says Vic.
In quotes, it's Victor Vic.
That's probably right. And he does that little smirk.
Yeah, with the little teeth. Okay. One more video. Now, we don't talk about Star Wars nearly as much until recently when you started getting into Mando and Boba. But there's another Disney Plus series coming, Skeleton Crew. Now, I don't know if you've seen this last trailer, but I think this is in your wheelhouse.
Tomorrow's test will set the course of your entire future.
Don't you ever want to do anything exciting? Like what? What if we could go anywhere we want in the whole galaxy? A real adventure. No more pretend. I found something buried in the woods. What do you think it is? I think it's a lost Jedi temple. Hello? Be careful where you step. We're lost. Really lost.
'Tis dangerous out there in space. Trust no one.
You're a Jedi.
Was that Jude Law?
It was Jude Law.
Huh. Yeah, there were parts of it that
little Goonies-esque.
Goonies-esque and a little E.T. and a little bit. I thought about the first, like the Chris Pine Star Wars, where they were Star Trek, pardon me, where they were at the Fleet Academy and they're on the world, and it just like, so there's definitely parts of it, but Goonies right away is definitely the vibes that I was getting. If it can stay more like that, then I'm in. I honestly, I'd heard of Skeleton Crew. I thought it was a cartoon. I didn't realize it was live action. So
yeah, I wasn't entirely sure too what it was. I thought it was a movie at first. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm flying blind right now. My screen just turned off. I have no idea why. So keep talking while I try to figure out if I can actually see
something. I could be, but much like video games, I go through these ebbs and flows of Star Wars, and I get, go through these, 3-4 months period where I'm just really into it, and then I'll just take a break. And so I think I could be into it. I'd be curious to know how and where this fits into like the overall timeline. But I'm sure that they would explain that if they haven't already or outlined it. But yeah, no, I'm looking. I'll watch it. I'll watch this more than I'll watch Agatha Harkness, I think.
I'm back. I can see you again.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'd be more inclined to watch this than Agatha, as it stands now. Or at the very least, I'll give it 3 episodes to see if it stays on par.
I'd like to know who is behind this project. John Watts, director of the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy.
Oh, that's where I recognize the name. Okay. See, there's a plus.
And if it showed on screen, I don't know, because again, everything just went black.
No, it did. It did show. It showed Favreau, John Watts. Yeah, it did.
Well, Favs is going to be on everything.
Yeah, that's his jam. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so before we wrap up, did we want to do this week for our fans? All right.
Yeah, 100%. Why not? Let's fuck it. Let's roll.
So we've talked about before, like off camera, of doing more things because again we're geeks at heart. We talk about things that I often see posts like 33 years ago today this debuted. I think it was at Wednesday or Thursday. It was like 30 years, 31 years, 33 years ago. Batman the Animated Series debuted.
Crazy.
So. Or 32, sorry, because it's 92. So we figured, hey, let's do something related to that here. And so without further ado.
Good evening. I am not Burt Reynolds. Here is Open Collars this day in pop culture history. On September 7, 1984, The Return of Godzilla was released in Japan, bringing the legendary kaiju back to the big screen after nearly a decade. This movie, also known as Godzilla 1985 in the U.S., marked a return to the darker, more serious roots of the Godzilla franchise, rebooting the series and distancing itself from the campy films of the 60s and 70s. It set the stage for the Heisei era of Godzilla films and reestablished the King of Monsters as a global pop culture phenomenon. And that's what happened this day in pop culture history. Once again, I am not Burt Reynolds. Now back to Cory and Steve.
There you go. Godzilla.
Thank you, not Burt Reynolds.
That's right. It's not Burt Reynolds. Yeah, so we'll try to do more. Maybe not every week, but we'll do more of that kind of thing.
Just sprinkle it in, right?
Yeah.
When keep the listener and the viewer guessing, right?
If I was to be honest with you, I know there was a ton of Godzilla movies from, as you said, 60s and 70s, but I never once thought there was a time where they're like, shit, we got to retool this. Like, people are getting tired of the Godzilla run and crush. We got to take him back to his roots. We got to go dark. We got to gritty Godzilla, and then fucking here we are again. And
I'm gonna be honest with you. Godzilla's a character that I never really got into. I've seen movies here and there, and they're okay. They're entertaining, but I was never clamoring for a Godzilla movie. But I feel like every movie was them trying to reboot the character.
Yeah, different kaijus that he fought. You know, Mothra, Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla.
That's right. Those older ones are cool. Like again, never really saw the movies, but like you'd seen stills and images of it.
Dudes in rubber suits fighting each other.
Like
it's literally just like we all like. It's fucking Power Rangers.
That's it. If you like
guys in costumes on a soundstage, walking over miniature buildings and stuff,
and using like mini fireworks as explosions, right? But they weren't like, it wasn't fired. It was good. It was good. I saw one today, and it wasn't on this day. It didn't happen today, but it was just a video of, kids will never understand how much we lost our shit when the White Ranger was introduced on Power Rangers. Right? And then he was floating down, and I was like, fuck yeah. Like, I remember when he took off the mask and it was Tommy, I was like, holy shit. Yeah.
Or when they're fighting the Green Ranger, this guy's kicking their ass.
Yes.
That's just what I said. His sword was a sword and also a flute and also somehow a synth. Like it was
a flute.
All these
it
things.
Was almost like the Pied Piper, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh man.
But he somehow did it. It worked.
Didn't he die?
He did.
Last year?
It wasn't last year, but it was not that long ago.
Fuck yeah, Tommy. He had been in a lot of reiterations of Power Rangers.
When in doubt, he came back, that's for sure.
I don't have an outro.
It's fine.
I completely forgot to do one this week. But you know what? I'm gonna go off the cuff and I'm gonna say,
hey,
thank you.
You can ask not Burt Reynolds.
Good listener and viewers for watching yet another episode of Open Collar. We try to do our best to have some fun and make some laughs and bring you the latest. Not lose our screen technology, right? Keep it on our side of the fence. But yes, we want to thank you for watching. If you would like to subscribe, you can find us on any of your podcast aggregators. You can find us on YouTube with Open Collar Pod.
That's the fish one. That's our spinoff.
Right. And generally, we are every Friday. We're trending in the right direction after a hiatus. But yes, thank you very much for listening and watching, or both. Maybe you're a double dipper. We like the double dippers.
Double dip the pod.
I'm Steve. That's Cory.
Yes, we got that under. And now, I didn't want to spring this on you, but I'm gonna have to because I forgot to bring it up earlier. But at least, possibly for a little while, I'm gonna say this here. We've been doing it since episode 104. I think this might be the last feel good Feldman. I cannot for life of me find clips that we have not shown ad nauseum. So we might put a pin and throw another pin out there for Cory. We'll give him his just desserts, but for now, like I say, this here is your final Feldman or final feel good Feldman. So without
underneath the disguise, so deceptive. Down, looking straight in the eyes and said, "Tell me, woman, why you lying to me?" She said she wouldn't find out that her best friend was a him. Deborah's always lying. Except Deborah, she got blood in her eyes. Better twice. Underneath the disguise, she's so deceptive. Blood in the right, but you better